Okay, so here are the materials you're going to need to make this coffee mug. This is the coffee mug I got from the dollar store, obviously $1. It's very large and sturdy, which I love. So yeah, you can pick up these. They've got a bunch of different kinds. So you're gonna need a coffee mug. Pick out a type of vinyl that you want. I went with this rose gold pearl metallic. It is a sizer vinyl, so you'll need some vinyl. Transfer tape. This is the masking transfer tape I use for everything. It comes in the huge roll. It's 100 feet of it. Love it. You're going to need a blue standard grip mat, or this is the light grip mat, excuse me. You're going to need a mat. I either use the blue one or the green one most frequently. A scraper, a weeding tool. I chose one with a really small point since we're using small font. A little bit of rubbing alcohol just to prep the surface of your coffee mug before you get started. And then scissors and the paper cutter just to cut my vinyl down a little bit. So these are the materials you're going to need to get started, and obviously your cutting machine. We're in Design Space. You're going to see your projects. I'm going to select new, and then I have a blank canvas to work with. To get an SVG file into Design Space, we have to upload it. So I already downloaded it from her website. It is in my downloads folder already. I'm going to click upload. I already have it in here, but for the sake of this, I'm going to show you how I got it. So we're going to upload image. If it is on your desktop, you can drag and drop it right here into this area, or you can select browse. I have my downloads folder selected since I did download it from the internet, and I'm going to search SBB for Small Business Babe, and here we have it, my SBB SVG file, and then select open. Okay, here you can see that it's a cut image, so we are ready to go. And upload. Then I'm going to select the image and insert. And it comes in quite large, so we don't need it 50 by 30 inches for a coffee mug. I'm going to zoom out and bring it in a lot just to start. Okay, now we can zoom back in a little. As a little tip or trick that I like to use when I'm working with a design and I know the template that I'm going to be putting it on, in this case, I'm putting it on a coffee mug. So before I started, I measured the surface of the coffee mug where I want my design to go, so I know how big to make it. So a little trick is I will upload a shape. In this case, I'm going to use a square. I'm going to change it to white just because that's the color of my coffee mug. And then I'm going to make this square the surface area where I want my SVG or my design to go. So I'm going to unlock this shape, and I measured it. It is about 3 inches wide where I'd like it and approximately 4 inches long. So this is the front of the mug, let's say. So I'm going to select this shape and I'm going to send it to the back by right-clicking, send to back. Now I can take my design and change the size so that I know it fits in the area where I want it to go. So you can drag it with these arrows in and out to make it as big or as small as you want. Or if you know that you need the width to be 3 inches, come up here, select 3, and there you have it. You know that it's exactly 3 inches wide. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. Okay. If you look at this and you say, I'd like it to fill up a little bit more of this top area and the bottom, you can unlock the image and then you can drag it down. Doing this, as you can see, changes the style of the font a little bit. It's still super cute. So that's totally your choice. If you'd like to make it bigger or smaller, you could even make it wider, just a little bit different. But for me, I'd like to keep it the way that it was. So I'm just going to undo that. Okay, And another thing, for me personally, most of the time I like to see the color of the vinyl that I'm going to be using against the background color. I'm just very visual that way. So I'm going to just try and select a color that's close to the rose gold metallic whatever. So we're just going to get close. It's not exact, but I know that it's going to look pretty similar to this on the white coffee mug. I love it. This is seriously so cute. I can't wait to drink out of this mug like every single day. Okay. Also, since this is an SVG file I purchased from the internet, I do not have to weld this. If I'm creating my own design in Cricut Design Space and I'm using text, once I select the text that I want, I'm going to have to weld it together so that it cuts, so that my machine cuts all of it together and not in separate pieces. But this is already welded, so you can ignore that if you don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, I know that's the size I want, so I'm going to select the square and delete it because I don't want to cut that out. It was just for background. And then we are going to select Make It. Okay, now you can see, here's my design on the mat. I know it's going to be rose gold. The mat always comes up in the color text that you had selected. So if you have multiple layers, it's going to show multiple mats over here with different colors. We only have one, so we're going to click Continue. And then I need to set the material that I'm using. Cricut allows you to keep 12 of your favorites right here. Unfortunately, I use way more than that, so I often have to browse the materials. So I'm going to show you, we're going to browse all materials. And then they're categorized for you. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom where vinyl is. Here we go. And you can see a whole list of different types of vinyl that you can cut. And then it tells your machine exactly how hard or soft it needs to cut, the depth, etc., etc. I know that I am going to use a premium vinyl. And since it does have like a pearl metallic-y finish to this vinyl, I'm going to use premium vinyl pearl. So simply click on it. And then click Done. Okay, the pressure at default should be good. Sometimes I will select it to change, but default is perfect. So now all we need to do is load the material onto our mat and insert in our machine. Okay, I used my paper cutter to trim down the vinyl just a little bit so it wasn't taking up a whole bunch of space on the mat. I'm just going to scrape it down. And then once you have your material set in Cricut Design Space, your light will be flashing on your machine, and that means your mat is ready to be loaded. Once the C starts flashing, it's ready to cut. While my vinyl is being cut, I'm going to take my mug and I'm going to prep the surface a little bit using the rubbing alcohol. So I just need a paper towel, a cotton ball, whatever you have handy. Just get a little bit of rubbing alcohol on there. And then I'm going to wipe the surface clean so that there's no residue or anything left on the mug. I did wash this beforehand, but just a little extra never hurts. Okay, then it should be clean and ready to go. I typically will just cut off my transfer tape as I go, just roll it on there, cut what I need, so I end up with these little scraps. So I'll just use this once I'm done weighting the vinyl. I'll watch my screen as it goes on my computer. It'll tell me what percentage left I have. It's at 100, which means it's ready to go. And then the light will start flashing when it is ready to be unloaded. Okay, here's our design. It looks good. And then I'm just gonna bend the mat a little bit and pull my vinyl away. Okay, I can shut this. I'm gonna move it aside a little bit. Okay. And then we just need to weed. Actually, I'm gonna trim off this excess on the side, just because I save all of my scraps and they end up coming in handy quite a bit. So I have like a whole drawer full of them. So we'll just save those. And you know you chose the right setting on your Cricut when the vinyl peels this easily. I love that. Go in and take out the insides of the letters. I always like to double check, hold it up to the light after I think I'm done weeding, because 60% of the time or more, I have forgotten like the middle of an E or something small. So hold it up, give it a, yep. See, that little piece already stuck to the letter. So I'll just scrape it off. There we go. Okay, looks good. Now I'm gonna snag this transfer tape and just lay over my vinyl and brush out. There are lots of different types of transfer tape to use. I've tried a bunch. This one is my favorite that I've found so far, but also it's nice to have a clear one with a grid sometimes. For this project, the masking tape will work. And then once you have it scraped down really good, just slowly pull the backing away, double checking that nothing is lifting up. All right, there you have it. And then for a mug and wine glasses, things that are cylinder shaped, I will cut the edges, or the corners, I mean. Just give it a little give so that when it does round the surface, it's a little bit easier to stay straight. Okay, I'm gonna prop my mug up. I'm sure there's something fancier that I could be using, but I will typically just do something like that. And then I wanna take my vinyl and I'm just gonna push it down by the middle very lightly to start so that I can double check to make sure that my text or my design is going on straight. I will often obsessively get my tape measure out to double check it. But since this is just for me, I'm not gonna be as crazy. Okay. And that looks pretty good. So starting at the middle, I'm gonna push the middle down and then I'm gonna work outwards. Start in the middle and push outward. Oh, that went on really nice. Okay. And then I'm gonna take my scraper and just go over it real quick again so it adheres really well. And this permanent vinyl works great on coffee mugs and wine glasses, anything like that. I do always recommend that you just hand wash these items and not the dishwasher. The high heat, I think, tends to like pull it up eventually. I have accidentally washed glasses before with it in the dishwasher and they've been fine, but I know repeated use, it wouldn't be as good. Whereas I have so many wine glasses that I've had for like 2 years that I've made using the permanent and just hand washing them. They still look great. So just make sure to hand wash your items. Once it's scraped on there really good, just slowly pull the transfer tape away. I will try to reuse transfer tape as much as possible, but when I slice the corners like this, it typically doesn't work as well. So that piece I might not be able to reuse, which is fine. But how cute is that? I love this design that I got off the Kayla Makes website. It's so cute. She has so many great freebies, but also really cute files that you can purchase for like $1 and then make them and sell them or whatever, as long as you give her a shout out, which shout out to Kayla Makes. So cute. Anyways, that's a super easy coffee mug using just a little piece of permanent vinyl. And now I can't wait to go fill it up with my favorite drink. Well, one of them, coffee. And you'll be seeing this around a lot.